It's June 20th. It's the end of an amazing process from May 9th to today. So, Margie, this is for you from all of us.
And anything else was a good party.
Yep.
So thanks for coming and making it such a good party. My name is Jan Carruthers. I'm her daughter, and she was my greatest pal for a lot of years. That many. Take her age and subtract some. So what we have today is one of the things that Margie liked as well as anything in the world besides a good party was music and people laughing and color and joy. And so today is not your standard memorial service. This is more like our wedding was, which it was a show with some words in it. So today I have the honor of thanking so many of you who are in the room today because you knew Margie a little bit and knew me a lot. And for those of you who don't know me from Adam but knew Margie a lot, together we make a wonderful chemistry mix. So today you have a program and we'll do our best to follow it. And now I better find my own. There we go. I'd like to invite one of my longest artistic and loving friends, Chris Rocchero.
Good afternoon. I'm told when Jan asked me to sing today, which I unhesitatingly said yes, we tried to think of songs that would appeal to Margie, that would embody Margie, that would speak of Margie's spirit, and this is one that that Jan chose. That means a lot, and think about Margie when you hear it. I never sing at a memorial service or a wedding without lyrics, because you never want people to say, oh, you remember that wedding we went to, you know, the one where the singer forgot the words? So I have my lyrics right here. And I don't need no speaking microphone. On a clear day, rise and look around you, and you'll see who you are. On a clear day, how it will astound you that the glow of your being outshines every star. You feel part of every mountain, sea, and shore. You can hear from far and near a world you've never heard before. And on that clear day, on that clear day, you can see forever and ever and ever and evermore.
So, I don't really need a microphone, but I'd like to have it so I can talk quietly. So my name is Jeff Bornefeld, and I have the honor of being Margie's son-in-law, and 25 years married to wonderful Jan. So what I'd like to do now is just really explain or give some background on who Margie, what her life looked like, who she was, what she did, And I do have notes like Chris's point of view. I don't want to leave anything out. So she was born Margie Jean Rosenberry in July 21st, 1931 in Portland. And they lived in Southeast Portland. She, for those who don't know the specifics, she made her transition on May 9th in Gladstone, just a couple blocks from where we live, and she was surrounded by the most wonderful group of people from hospice that there's some information on the back of your program about that, but it was just a joyful release for her. She'd been having pain for years, and so there was a whole crew of us there most days, and it was quite wonderful. But back to her story. So who she leaves behind, of course, is her loving daughter, Jan Carruthers, and myself, and but also her beloved partner of the last 25 years, and I think he's back there, Gary Cooper. Gary, would you raise your hand up? There's Gary, thank you. And her sister Carol, who's in here somewhere. There we are, too close for me to see. Hi, and her husband Jim. And then she also has her stepson John Carruthers, and another stepson, Gerald Miller, who I don't believe is here yet. Okay. And Gerald lives in Las Vegas, and by the way, John lives in Sacramento. In addition, she also is survived by Jan's father, Bob Mackey, and also 3 grandchildren who were in Mexico, somewhere near Guadalajara. In addition, because of the 25 years that she's had with Gary, she acquired a whole other wonderful family. And that is Jenny and Jay, Kayla, and then also, I don't want to leave people out, so we have Josh and Melissa. So it's been great. We do holidays together, and it's really been a wonderful extension to our family as well. And then she also has the wonderful brother and wife of Gary, which is Dan and Kathy. So I got all that part done. So a little bit more about her background. Her parents were Bernice and Ernie Rosenberry, and he was a mechanic and a welder, and they were still on the tail end of the Depression. So they, while it started in Portland, they moved to Richmond, California, to work at the Ford plant down there, and that's where Margie started school. And something else happened while she was down there. Oh yes, that's where Carol was born, right? And one of the things about living in the Bay Area, which is where I'm a transplant from, many moons ago, but it's a wonderful place, and the center of that is San Francisco. So a friend of theirs, whose name was Martha Rotten. Do you remember Martha? Okay, good. Used to take Margie and Carol on excursions into the city and go exploring. And that was one of the great loves of Margie. She, like me and others, fell in love with San Francisco, and that's always a wonderful place, and that'll come up again more in our story. So then things started getting better in our economy, and they moved back, and she went to school at Woodstock Elementary School, and has actually friends from Woodstock that they stayed in touch for years and years, including there's Lana. Wonderful connection. Lana's husband was part of that group. So she then went to Franklin High School and learned to play the clarinet and the saxophone. And she was in the marching band, and she played in parades and football games, etc. And one of the offshoots of that is somehow she met and fell in love with a football player, a big hunk of a guy who happens to be Jen's father. And so they got married when Margie was 15 and he was 18. And then 2 years later, Jan popped out and came along, and so they had this little family, although they were really, I don't know how, I mean, we didn't get married till I was 40, and I was just barely ready then, so I don't know how people get married at that age. So they weren't, and so actually Bob went into the service and ended up going to college in Texas, and one thing led to another, and he had they ended that relationship, and he ended up with another wife, and life goes on, and so on and so forth. So Margie was back with her family in Portland. And to support her family, she became a dental assistant, and out of that, I got a job and was doing that, supporting the family. And one of the patients was of interest to her, and so she actually overcharged him. So he'd have to come back, and then that led to a 6-year marriage to Bill Shade, and they had all kinds of adventures in that time period. Also in that time period, Margie and Carol's dad passed away, which was quite devastating. He died at a young age, and it really affected them. So the other thing that I wanted to get to is that while she was doing this dental assisting and the like, this opportunity that the dentist she worked for recommended her for a job that would be promotion to actually be an office manager for a classmate of his, and so she applied for the job and got it, and he was Dr. Roy Carruthers, and he had a family of his own, and soon into their great working relationship, his wife passed away. And somewhere in that similar time period, Margie and Bill Shea began to notice that this wasn't something that they really wanted to do. So they ended that, and Margie and Roy's practice kept growing, and their relationship sort of kept on growing, and lo and behold, Margie Jean became Margie Jean Carruthers. And they had a blended family of Roy's children from 2 former marriages and Jan, and they all built their dream house up on Mount Scott, and that was wonderful. Then they came on this little boondoggle up, and we're going to stay in a cabin somewhere right around here, and fell in love with this area, and ended up buying property and built a place up on the Salmon River. So that's how they got connected up here. But in that process, they just jumped in and fell in love with this community, and it was just a delightful time. The stories I heard, the trips that have come since then, and they became very active in the Lions Club, and they helped start a theater, and they helped start, the Elks Club was an exclusive men's thing, and so a bunch of women, I actually think some of them are here that had something to do with that, including Margie. They started the Woodlands Women's Club, which is just celebrated its 51st or 52nd anniversary. So, and they also started a theater, the Lions Club in its previous building. They added the theater onto that, etc. And got involved in all kinds of activities and the like. And you'll see more when we show you some entertainment a bit later. So, thing was wonderful. Things were going right along, and unfortunately, there was a winter snowstorm here, and Roy was out and had an accident that took his life, and that was a big change for Jan and Margie and the rest. And so she was off to find out what now to do. And she started getting involved in various businesses. She was, for those of you who know, the Barlow Trail Inn, just a few feet up the road. She was the owner of that once, and then went off to another business, etc., and came back and started stuff down at the coast, on and on and on, and had quite a lot of activity in that. And then that's about all the most important stuff I want to do. I just really want to speak to the unstoppable Margie. I mean, that was where I met her. I mean, I only knew her the last 27 years or so, but she just was, I mean, when I met her, she had just bought a business. She was going to run a business cleaning furnace ducts. She wasn't going to do the work, but she owned the business and hired the people, and just all kinds of activities. She got involved in nonprofits, etc. And she actually worked for the program that Jan and I and other people in this room created, the Committed Partnership Youth Mentoring Program. And she was just someone who had a curiosity. She looked into things. She reached out and touched people. For those of you who didn't know her directly, I mean, you couldn't know her without feeling touched and special. She brings out the best in people. And that was who I remember Margie for the most. And I kind of want to wrap it up with that, you know, this is an opportunity to celebrate. And, you know, Margie has gone off to the next adventure. I can't fathom what it's like, but I know she's with us. It's quirky things happen and so on and so forth, so she's still with us today. And that, for me, is Margie. Thank you.
This is my other great singer friend, Marion Gaylord.
I don't think I have the power that Chris has, but I'll do the best I can because I can't hold a microphone in hand. Because I also can't remember lyrics. While I never knew, I only knew Margie through Jan, but what a treat it was to know her. And as she was described to me by Jan, she certainly was a very spiritual person, though not associated with a particular religion. And so Jan asked me to sing this as sort of a general statement for everyone. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saves someone like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. 'Tis grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fear relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, we have already come. 'Twas grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was bound,
need this microphone either. No?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Just give you a vote there. So, first of all, each of you had your own stories. So what I'd like to do is just tell you a few stories from a daughter's point of view and some of the things that you might not know because you can't be everywhere, can you? One of the things that Margie, when you think about her, when I thought of her, there's a lot of qualities. She was joyous, she was dauntless, she was committed and deeply loyal. She had a great sense of artistic. She had a view of everything the way it could be, and truly, while she made wonderful things in her ceramic studio, she truly knew that anything could be improved with a little gold braid and a couple of rhinestones. You know, truly. So, I grew up in a lot of houses with my mom, and 4 of them had ceramic studios. And when she got up here on the mountain, she had a huge space. We can close the carport, so she had this great huge space and this great huge industrial-sized kiln. And she was teaching classes, and because she was so vivacious and she was what I call Magic Margie, people got drawn into her circle of magnetism. She even got the men on the mountain. She got the lions to come down and make ceramics at nighttime with their wives. It's very fun. I have some pictures of Merle Hill. Does anybody remember Merle Hill? He used to own the Brightwood store, sitting carving greenware with my mother teaching him how to do it. So they were quite the spark plugs. They did bring some city energy with them from the mountain, but you know, the thing is that they were not exactly patient people. When Jeff mentioned that we got invited up for a weekend, we got invited up for a weekend. The next weekend, they went to all their buddies. They had 4 other couples that were buddies, and they said, let's go and get a place on the mountain. So they started looking. They found a place. It broke my mother's heart that it fell through. So Roy said, it's okay. Let's go look for some property, and we'll build a little cabin. A little cabin. So we found a piece of property. We made a pathway through it in one Sunday. The following Sunday, we made a little clearing and put a tent on it. The following weekend, we were building a cabin. Now he was a kind of an efficient and he wasn't cheap, but he didn't want to cut wood any more than he had to. So this cabin looked like a shoebox, exactly on the dimensions of 4 by 8. Made out of plywood, and then, because it had to go up, it went up on 4 by 8 as well, and slanted down this way. So no more wood cuts that he needed to make. And then we needed to have an outhouse. I was not good in the woods. So we had the only flush outhouse on the entire mountain at the time. It was exactly 2 feet wide and 4 feet deep. And they called it the Jan after me. Margie and Roy were really magnetic, and they drew a lot of people up to help, just like you all came to help us put this party on. Every Saturday, people from all over Portland would say, hey, let's go up and visit the Carrutherses and help them. And Roy cut down so many trees that he always had work for people to do. And they will feed us lunch. So we go to the Brightwood store, we buy a ton of food. Margie just bought this and then this and then this, and then she had no sense of money whatsoever. And she proudly passed that on to me. She could feed 18 people like that, and it just didn't make any difference. So, and we were very good customers, the Brightwood store. We never brought stuff up from Portland. She did inherit a very complicated, wonderful, blended family. I just love it that John is here, because John was my summer brother. And then there were the two little kids. And then there was the older kid who eventually ran away and joined the Navy. And I was the only child, and I thought these people were mad. So my mother and Roy one day said, and they had married, they were putting us together, and we were terrible to each other, really terrible. And one day, they stopped the car, and you know how your seats go like this? They're not bucket seats. You're laughing, you know what I'm going to say. So what they did is they turned around in unison to the back seat, and they said, you guys are each other's brother and sister. And if we ever hear you say, who's not adopted yet, or who's a step, and who's a half, and whose kid are you, we will personally knock your heads together. And they meant it. So for the rest of the time we were growing up, people would try to just sort it out, you know, a little bit. No, he's my brother, she's my sister, don't even ask. So, Sean's back there. She had terribly, she quit school when she was 15. So her education of a formal nature was quite limited. However, she was the brightest, most well-educated person I knew in my life. And how she learned was to go to the source of whoever knew how to do it and interview them. So she learned about the environment, she learned about politics, she learned about highways, she learned about artistic things, she interviewed theater directors, she interviewed anybody that knew how to do something that she wanted to do. And that skill held her in very good stead when she decided to become a journalist and support the mountain by being the Sandy Post representative for the mountain. She covered the mountain for 7 years. And for those of you who are old enough, she did it as the Snoop. So she was actually anonymous with some spies. So she got the information, and very often, Dr. Roy and Margie Carruthers would show up in the list of people who had done things, because they never wanted to identify, you know, that they were. She only came out, as it was when Roy died. And she wrote a really moving article, and she finally said, you know, this is a column I can't talk about any of the other stuff. I've got a ton of notes, but let me tell you what I want to talk about. And so that's when people knew for sure. I suspect a lot of people knew, but it was always a kind of a fun ruse. And it really showed me how a person can go after what it is she wants. She was always going after something without ever causing waves, without, well, that's not entirely true. My mother was not without causing a few waves. She was not universally loved. Can I say it that way? There's a problem when you're a raging platinum blonde. Sometimes people just kind of take offense. So, and the fact that she was unabashed about being a girl, she loved being a girl. You probably never went on a walk or a swim or a run with Margie Carruthers. She was just not that kind of girl. But she did play chess better than most of the people in this room. And she did a mean crossword puzzle. And by the way, over there's a stack of old crossword puzzles we took to a care center a few years ago, and she never got them all done. So I thought, what would be a better souvenir for you to take away besides a program? Let's go do a crossword puzzle and think about Margie. Let's see, there's some more things here. Oh yeah, you know, I learned a lot about listening and caring. One of the things that Mother had was the rare ability to truly listen. She loved people who were sort of the strays, the underdogs, the people who weren't getting quite the attention. She would say, you sit right down here and talk to me. So at parties, she was a great one to talk with and listen to. She got that early. I don't know where she got it originally, But she decided when she was that young wife at St. Anthony's, oh, by the way, just about church for a second. My mother had so much church. She was raised Methodist, and then she married a Christian Scientist. That was Bob. And then she had to convert to Catholicism to marry Bill Shea. And then she discovered religious science and unity, and she's really a spirit of the world. But she decided that it would be a good idea for her to take in a wayward teen. So when I was young, I was in those, like somewhere around 7, maybe. She invited Larita Thunderberg to come to our home, and she stayed with us for about a year. She was, to me, this alien person. She was a rough, tough teenage girl. Tough talking, tough looking, and I'd never even seen one of those people, let alone lived with one of those people. And so, but Mother just was with her, she was encouraging for her, she enjoyed her, and things went well for about 10 months, and for whatever reason, I don't know what happened, but Loretta needed to go. She left. So she must have found another foster situation, but I never heard from her again. I always wondered what happened to her. She was about 16, 17. So about 15 years later, Mother got a call and said, I'm a voice from your past, I'd like to come visit you. I'm Loretta Thunderberg. And so this beautiful young woman in a beautiful suit, incredibly confident, gracious, came up the mountain to tell my mother thank you. To just say, you know, you probably don't even have a clue what you did for me. What you did was you didn't judge me. You invited me, you were patient with me, you kept giving me good examples, and you were so encouraging. And she said, and you know, I was in my own terrible world because I had a rough life and I couldn't take that much. But she said, I've graduated from nursing school. I'm proceeding in my career. I'm a nursing manager now, and I owe so much of it to you. And you never know, do you? And that's a kind of example. Mother was always that. Whether she actually had a formal relationship of mentorship, or just that extra caring ear. She just loved the people who were kind of on the edges. If there was an odd person in the room, you know she would eventually find them. So that's one of the lessons that I learned from her. You might ask how she did all that stuff. Well, she did have Mrs. Burroughs. See, one of the great things is that in marrying Roy Carruthers, suddenly she was in what at those days were sort of Camelot. And because Roy had all of these children and an ailing wife, and actually an invalid wife, he had housekeepers. And nobody ever wanted to leave. So when Mother and Roy got married and moved up the mountain, Mrs. Burroughs, who was this big German woman with a huge family, John loved her too, she started driving up the mountain at least once a week. And so I never had to learn how to iron. Because there was Mrs. Burroughs. And everybody in your life, it would be so wonderful if you could afford to have a Mrs. Burroughs. The great thing is that we got to be part of their family too. So we had a place to go, a big German family with big meals, and we became Lutherans. Honestly, it's another, that's the way it works there. You just kept, so. One of the things I wanted to say is that in truth, Mother was not all sweetness and light. She had her rough days. And this last few years has been rough. And those people who are in her life now know that it hasn't been that easy. The great thing and the sad thing about death is that It releases you from that. But the sadness is that you went through it. The great thing is all of us are so much better for it. Not like you should suffer for the good of others, but because we had the privilege of being with her through that time. She was so courageous and brave and took hard steps and did what it took. And all the time, if you had a chance to be with her, it didn't take much to have that tinkling laughter come wafting over. That smile would break through. And I considered it my personal cause. Every time I saw her, every evening I saw her, one was to have a story, and two, to make her laugh and just about until she peed. And we used to laugh like that, so no matter how hard it was, whatever was going on, there was something so wacko. So she is my angel, and she has been working really hard these last 6 weeks to make all the details fit together. So if you have anybody in your life who is nearing that transition point, you give them a task. You tell them, as my friend told me to tell Margie, you tell her or him, after you've been there for a little while and you get kind of accustomed to wherever it is or however it is, you come back and help me do the stuff there is to do. Help me write that book, or do that thing, or build that thing, or whatever it is. And they'll say, yes, great, I'd love to have some work. You know, who knows what it's like over there? I'll be there. And you know what? She really has been. She really has been. Thank you.
So my name tag says John, but my legal name is Roy John Carruthers. So I was Roy's son and his namesake. Instead of calling me Bud or Junior, they decided that I would go by John. And my mom and dad were married for 9 years. They decided to have a family later on after the war when we returned. And things didn't work out. I was born in July. They were divorced in September. And we moved away. So even though my mother felt very strongly that she wanted me to have a relationship with my father, it was in terms of visitation on summers. And you know, that's easier said than done. Because essentially, you're an only kid. I was raised in the Seventh-day Adventist Church where this world is not your home. It's going to happen sometime later on when the earth is made new. And so I would visit this family that was so strange in so many ways. Not that they were strange, it's that I was strange. I wanted to fit in, I wanted to integrate some way. I wanted to get to know my father in the way that a son likes to get to know their dad. But I had very little to work with, being shy, not knowing quite how to approach things, doing the best I could. And then my dad married Margie. Now, Margie and I always liked each other. We had an affinity. She taught me how to play gin rummy. She taught me how to play chess. One of my cherished possessions is a ceramic chess set that she gave to me that I just love it. We had friends over last week who wanted to play chess, and they looked at the chess set and they go, "Where did you get that? It's so beautiful." In any event, it's not like she said to me, "This is the way it's going to work." She just had her way of working with me, making me feel comfortable, getting the connection there, and then by my playing chess with my father, by my playing gin rummy with my father, the connection grew. And I wasn't very easy, I was stubborn, I was sort of, but Margie was able to cut through all that. And while I never felt a lack of love in my family, we didn't say things like, "I love you" out loud. We didn't do things like hug each other. It was, I just didn't grow up that way. But with Margie, it was like on the phone, you hung up before you hung up, it was like, I love you. It was said out loud. And so I can thank Margie that while my father died young, I remember he cooked breakfast for us that morning. And I remember that I was able to say, I love you, Dad. And he said, I love you, son, to me. And that is a gift that I will forever cherish and remember. And it was all due to Margie. She was probably one of the most accepting people that I know. I can't ever think of a time when she didn't accept you. I would introduce her to people who I loved immediately. There was that connection. She brought them in. She loved them. They remembered her. I remember this trip to Las Vegas. We had so much fun. And it was so great to be able to introduce people who are important to you in your life without judgment. And that's what she was all about. And in many respects, she is my mom. And I will very much miss her, but not her spirit, which is always going to be here.
So this is the time you always get a chance to think about what you might want to say. There are some people in the room who really have a story to tell. This is an open microphone. So in a minute, we're going to invite anybody who'd like to. For those of you who are perpetually wanting to say something but not wanting to say it out loud, we have put some index cards. See, I'm a professional trainer. What can I say? But you might want to tell this story. And while you're thinking about what you might want to say, I do want to say one fun thing. So my friends, lots of friends sent things. And one of them is a theater friend of Chris and mine's. And she, her name is Jane. Where's Jane? Well, I'll find it in a minute, but I'll tell you what Jane said. Jane is a very glamorous woman. This was in the olden days when we were doing glamorous theater. We were doing Slabtown Follies. It was very 30s. So Jane said, you know, I think I've met your mother 2 or 3 times backstage. And she always looked like she was having so much fun being backstage. And I remember that she came up to me and she compared eyelashes with me. And then she asked me if I ever took mine off. Because apparently Margie didn't take hers off. And she said, your mother may have made many great decisions in her life, but the best one was to have and raise you. Isn't that nice? Yeah. So, little vignettes. Who'd like to come up? And I just saw people walk in the room, and I want to introduce you to 2. Gerald Miller and Elena Miller from Las Vegas. Gerald is the other son out of that strange, complex family.
It used to be Gerald Carruthers.
He was Gerald Carruthers, and his original name was Miller. And they just got here from Las Vegas. So it's so nice to see you. Welcome.
Blessed I feel for having Margie as my friend. I met her in 1962 when my husband was Clackamas County Commissioner and he was helping with the roads and then the flood and all of that. And I came up and visited with Margie and we remained friends up until, when was it, November the last time we had lunch? And I always felt happy to be Margie's friend, except one time she told me I looked good as a blonde. I had my hair dyed
my jet black at the time, and I thought, oh, I will. But I didn't. 2 weeks later, I was back with my other color.
Nancy, you look kind of blonde to me.
Well, that's great.
No, that's good. Thank you.
I think a lot of everybody has said a little piece of everything on my recording earlier. So I think we got a little bit of everybody earlier before the presentation. So I think that's probably why no one's getting it except us. So
Thank you, John. Anybody else? Alrighty, great. Thank you. No problem, and we are joyful to have each of you, and thank you for doing that with John. Sometimes video is just the most wonderful thing to have. It's like your wedding pictures, you think they're okay until you have them years later. You know, they're the only thing that's left. It's the pictures of how good you looked. We did not ever mention politics, but there is one thing that I would say about Margie and Roy and politics, which was you can't get very deeply involved in the good of a community without ultimately spending some time thinking about the political aspects of things. So they were willing to do that, and there's a long, long list of her affiliations. She served on so many county boards, so many advisory boards, so many boards of every kind, as well as running being past president of the Women's Club and the Mountain Players and on. And I wasn't there when some of that was happening. But she was so committed and she was smart. I read all of her campaign material finally. It's only, how many, 1972 to 2015. I finally read her campaign brochure. And she blew me away. She knew so much about planning, and that land use planning was her real campaign concern about this area having a voice and getting involved in tri-county politics. So secretly, she once told me that the best thing that ever happened to her was that she did not win. She was so happy not to have won. Okay, we have another song.
I have a peripheral story. I met Jan in 1973 when we were both very, very young. And Jan was working at the box office at the Portland Civic Theater, and I was just starting out as an actress in shows. And we met and connected, and Jan and I have been close ever since. But we were always stumped by this story of, now, what is this about your family? Who, you have brothers? No, you don't, you have what? And we were always confused, and Jan would say, well, I have these brothers, and then with this, and well, who's that guy, and who's that guy, and who's that guy? Never mind, she'd say, never mind. One summer, it was our wont to make up autobiography titles. Can I tell this story? And so we all, laughed and thought of things. Mine was, tonight I'm on self-destruct. I've calmed down a bit since then. But we all helped Jan come up with her autobiographical title, which was My Family Was a Town. And that we had to be satisfied because none of us could ever figure out all these relationships between all of these wonderful people who belong to this wonderful, quite extended family. And on that note,
When all the world is a hopeless jumble and the raindrops tumble all around, heaven opens a magic lane. When all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found, leading from your window pane to a place behind the sun, just a step beyond the rain. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I?
This is a time for reflection and maybe a slightly more mystical tone, because death is an extraordinary mystery. And I don't know about you, but it makes me think. And it makes me suddenly aware that I have no real clue, but I have a deep knowing. And that's the way it was with Margie. So if you would like to, just close your eyes a moment and dwell for a second or two or three. And to know that this is a time when you are connected at a much deeper level. The fun and the joy that is really, really deeply rooted in eternity. And all the lovely metaphors come down to, there was once a moment, a short moment, an 83-year moment, in which a being of light walked on this plane with us. And the light never leaves. And each of us is a being of light, here for right now. And you've all heard that the sun sets here for us. is a sunrise for her. And that's also true for each of us. And so in this moment, if there's any undelivered communication, say it now. Is a good time. If there's any forgiveness to be asked for or to be given, this is the perfect moment. It's become clearer and clearer to me that there is very little separation and that there's great work to be done. The music makes me sail. It took Margie. It will take all of us. And the music will never stop. So thanks for remembering who we were, who she was, and who we all are now. And in that great universal divine mind heart, whatever you call it, know that we are perfect and changeless and ever-changing. I bought a fancy butterfly balloon the other day. And I thought, this is perfect. This is so like Mother, so colorful. It was so big, it was taking up the rear view of my car. But that's okay, because I was going to bring it to you and show you how beautiful this balloon was. Big helium balloon. Somehow I wasn't thinking, and at that moment, yes, I did. I opened my sunroof. I did. And in a flash, whoosh, and I could see it in the rearview mirror on the side of the highway. And I thought I could go back and get it. And then it occurred to me, it's a helium balloon. It's gone. And after I got done laughing like hell, it suddenly hit me that that's perfect. That's really perfect. That might be the one helium balloon I remember for the rest of my life. Like Margie. She's gone, and she's always here. Thank you.
Yesterday yesterday goodbye and point me toward tomorrow. We did what we had to do. Won't forget, can't regret what I did for love. What I did for
Okay. We had such great help with this. Sean's cousins, Barry, Jeffrey, and I all spent such fun times on this process. And as we, this little technical thing, I just want to thank Jenny and Jay.
say so and so, if I should ever let it go. I got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got the string around my finger. What a world, what a life. I'm in love. Life is a beautiful thing. As long as I hold the string, I'd be a silly so and so if I should have let it go.
I didn't see that one.
I got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got the string around my finger. What a world! And this is a lie. Hey now, I'm so in love. The loveliness of Paris seems somehow sadly gay. The glory that was Rome is another day. I've been terribly alone and forgotten in Manhattan. I'm going home to my saved by the day. I left my arms in San Francisco. High on a hill. It calls to me where the cable lies. Climb halfway to the stars. The morning fire fades away. I don't care, my love wasted. In San Francisco, all of the room. And when he when I come home to you, San Francisco, your golden sun will shine for me. Unforgettable, that's what you are. Unforgettable, though near or far. Like a song of love that clings to me, I will follow you. to me. Never before has someone been more unforgettable in every way, and forevermore. That's how you stay. That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too. Unforgettable in every way, and forevermore. That's how you stay. That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too.
Patricia Taylor, another one of our good friends, is going to close up our celebration program in the middle of the party. But I wanted to give you a couple of announcements. What's a party without announcements? We decided to honor Mother in a couple of ways. One of them is we have the most beautiful tree that is going to be planted in the new rhododendron garden at milepost 44, where the historic marker is. And the hole is dug, and we have a beautiful marker, and it's all set up, and we're going to do that after we clean up the Lions Hall. So everyone is welcome. And so I just really want you to know it's so lovely. It's right up there with the DAR 1906 marker. And
Tree's right outside the door.
the tree is right outside the door. And our friend Doug and Jeff dug the hole yesterday, and we got mountain friends up there so excited to have the very first tree in the new rhododendron garden. So that's really great for us. And then later, we're having a private little interment of some Mother into the Salmon River. You know? In 1989, she wrote a one-page will. She said, give it all to Gary, give it all to Jan, and dump me into the Salmon River. A little more formal than that, but not much. Any questions? We got a wonderful crew to help clean up. We'd love to have you help us clean up, and we're going to still eat more because there's tons more food and cake. And Patricia.
Can I use the microphone?
Yeah.
I've been told that when I pray, my voice gets low. So I would ask that we all, if you feel like it, if it feels right for you, just to close your eyes and let us pray and know that Margie truly is with us right here and now as we allow ourselves to realize the life that lives as each one of us is the same life that lives as Margie on her new, beautiful, wonderful journey. And I am so grateful for the awareness of all that Margie was to so many people, knowing that we have all been a part of her life in some unique and individual way. And that she, just as she is a part of our lives. And I just know that there is no end to life, that there is that eternality of life that continues to live, move, and breathe as each of us. And so I give thanks for all that has been shared here today, for the greater understanding that each one of us has of Margie's life. It has been such a gift, just as each one of us has realized that gift from Marjorie or Jan or the other members of the family. And I know that as we move on, so does Margie, and so does all of life. And so it is in that place of love and gratitude, knowing that there is no end, that there is only beginnings. I give thanks and let it be. Amen.
That's right.
All right. So is it gonna go on standby now?
Yeah.
Love you, Margie. I had to put myself in there. So am I gonna turn it off? So if you can just introduce yourself with your name and how you met Margie.
Oh, my name is Michael Bybee, and actually I know Margie best through her friends, because to be honest, I never met Margie in person. But I feel like I've met Margie's spirit and all of the different wonderful things that friends have had to say about her, and her photographs that are over here. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay. And then
Hi, I'm Larry, and I know Margie because I met Jan, her daughter, in college, at Wilson Park College, a long time ago. And I would see Margie maybe once a year, and she was always wonderful to me. I consider her a great friend.
great.
So here's to Margie.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm
So
a friend of Anita's,
okay.
Orbs, and I read the paper about your, about Miss Carruthers, and she was quite an active lady.
So did you actually get to meet Margie in person?
No, I didn't, but Anita was in plays with her at the original shack, I think, where they did a lot of plays there.
Okay. And are you from here? Are you from Welch's?
I'm from Sandy, yeah.
From Sandy. Great. Thank you. This is John Carruthers.
He wants to record.
So I'm just recording you so that you're on here.
Oh, thank you.
And if you could just let us know who you are, because I'm Sean.
Hi.
I've never met you, I don't think.
Right.
You're from California.
So I'm actually from here originally, born in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
And it's John Carruthers, but it's actually Roy John Carruthers. So I'm Roy Carruthers. He was my father, namesake. And Margie, she's not my birth mom, but she's my mom in so many other ways, spiritually. And she was a wonderful lady who I love and miss. And what else to say?
And I have pictures of you.
Yeah,
So,
pictures. Yeah. We used to when they lived up on the mountain, I would come up and
visit them, and they were just so much fun. Probably my dad's happiest time that I can remember was with Margie, and she is a hell of a chess player. She taught me how to play chess, gin rummy.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for letting me record you. So my name is Chan, and I'm gonna.
Your name is what?
My name is Chan.
Chan?
Yes.
Very pleased to meet you.
And then if you can just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you know about this event, and how you know Margie.
I met Jan and Jeff through my wife. Claudia, my wife, belonged to an organization that they started called Emergence. And over the years, it's been about 20, 25 years, they've met, and I've gotten to know Jeff and Jan. I didn't know Margie personally, but I know that reflected in Jan, she must have been an outstanding and pretty wonderful person.
All right. And so are you from here? Are you from?
I'm not. I'm a transplant. I'm from California.
Oh, so you came all the way from California. That's great.
Yeah, we moved here about 25 years ago.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
Record this.
I just heard about
Wait a second. He doesn't know my name. My name is Chan.
John?
Chan.
Tom.
Yes. Do you remember me?
Yeah.
From where?
The party's at Jan's.
And who are you?
I am Gary.
Well, I know, but I'm trying to record him.
I'm lousy at names. Faces, I never forget a face.
So how do you know Margie, Gary?
I think we lived together for a while.
Is that it? Is that all you want to say?
Yeah, what's this plays back?
Yes, we're recording it for us, for the family. So we have some memories of who showed up and who's here and how everybody knows Margie, and so that, you know, people like me who doesn't know everybody will get to know everybody. And that's
You look a little different every time. You have your hair different, or you're decked out different.
Well, I'm glad that you're here, Gary.
Yeah, I made it. And come up.
Are you going to say bye?
Bye.
I'm trying to remember when I first met her.
Okay, well, I'm recording you now.
Okay. Well, I'm Kate McIntyre, and I've known Jan for probably 35 years. And I met her mom early on, and before very long, I was one of her daughters.
Hey, sounds like me.
And the first memory I have of Margie, she and Gary lived together. Well, no, there's an earlier memory than that, but the most clear memory is when she and Gary lived together at the top of Hill Road, just off of River Road, about 5 blocks from where Jan and Jeff live now. And then Margie lived in a house in southeast Portland that Jan and Jeff moved into when she moved in with Gary.
So what is your best memories with Margie?
Oh my goodness. You know, I think my most prominent memories of Margie are after Jan and Jeff moved to the house they're in now, of her being at the parties and her laugh. She had that infectious laugh. She had Margie's table up on the patio, up on the deck, and she sat there. She always sat there for the whole time of the party, and people would just gravitate to her.
Yes.
All day long.
Yes.
So it was pretty amazing.
All righty. Well, thank you, Kate.
You know, they say that Arabia has the third largest military budget in the world. And they won't do a thing to help us.
You're on candid camera.
I'll come back and interview you guys in a little bit.
Well, I think I might have to go.
I'm Sean.
Hi, I'm Claudia.
Nice to meet you.
Friend of Jeff and Jan's.
And I'm just recording for our memories. And if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you know Margie, I would appreciate it.
Okay. My husband Joel and I met Jeff and Jan over 20 years ago. I started a group with Jan called Emergence, in which it's a small group of women, and we focus on our dreams, the thing that we're compelled to do but we haven't done yet. And so we've been meeting for the last 20 years, and I met Margie through the process of Jeff and Jan's parties, and I found her to be a delightful person, and it's such an honor to be able to be in support of the family today.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Happy to help.
When I tell people they go, wow, I can't believe it. So that's what we're saving our money for, not a trader. I want a trader. I do like that.
Jason? Hi.
Hi.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Jason and Jen's husband. Margie was like a mother to Jen.
So are you Gary's?
I'm Gary's
son-in-law? Okay. So what's your best memory of Margie?
Probably just Thanksgiving and going out to dinner and stuff. Yeah.
Did you have
the birds on her finger?
The birds, yeah.
She loved birds.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, look, here's it's the bird she had.
That's the bird she had? So we're gonna walk over here and interrupt Jenny.
Hello.
So this is Gary's daughter.
Yes, I'm Jenny.
Right? Okay.
Very
So
good.
if you can introduce yourself and your best memories of Margie and a little bit about...
Well, my name's Jenny, and I have so many memories of Marge, I don't really know where to start with it all. One of the special things that we always did was go out to dinner together as a family, so it was always nice. We had a lot of nice times going out to eat, going on trips to the beach together as a family. We've had some trips up here to Mount Hood together as a family, which I know was a really special place for Marge. So we have some really good memories of her with her. Gosh.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks.
Well, actually, one thing that I want to say that's really special about Marge is that she always told me how much I was loved.
Yes, she was great at that.
She
loved to laugh
did
and
love
smile.
you.
And she always made a point to tell me.
Yes.
That's so sweet. Yeah.
And how did you know her? I'm going to pause.
I can't do as good as Jenny.
Well,
let's see.
start with who you are.
The person that you should be right now interviewing is Melissa.
She's just walking in on us.
And then you, Josh, and who's it? Kayla.
Yep.
How do you guys know Margie?
Well, she was our grandmother in our hearts, even though she was our step-grandmother. And my best memory with her was going to her and Grandpa's house when they were cleaning their house and they were about to move, and going through all of her old things and her giving me her old silver plates and her old Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls.
Oh.
All their old cute memorabilia.
Got it.
That's well, very similar to mine.
So are you guys
Siblings.
Siblings?
Brothers
And then
and
are you guys Jason's?
and stepdad.
Dad. Got it. Okay. I kind of needed to know who everybody was. It didn't. So
I will say something though.
Okay.
Marge always introduces me when we met new people as her sister-in-law, and I was telling Jenny that I felt like I probably know Marge better than a lot of the people in this room because we went out to dinner every Friday night for about 25 years. Yeah, all different places around the Milwaukee area, and then we celebrated Christmas, birthdays, Easters. I mean, we time at the coast. Yeah. So anyway, and she was the one thing that I keep in my heart about Marge is that she loved animals, and she always had an animal with her. So,
well, thank you.
Thank you for interviewing me.
Thank you.
1940.
That's Jeff.
Did you go to the council?
Anyway, that was made of that. Yeah, the refining of the.
Hi, Dan.
Well, hi.
My name is Chan.
Ton?
Chan.
Yeah, hi.
And so I just kind of want to know a little bit of how you know Margie, if you know her directly or who you know.
Well,
her.
my brother is Gary Cooper, and that's his. That Marge was his partner, and I think we've known Marge, Kathy, and I. Anyhow, my name is Dan Cooper. I forgot to say that. We've known her for a good 25 years, I think. We must have went out to dinner once a week for 25 years, I think.
Yeah.
So we've known her a long time, and I know all about her dealings of restaurants and all her, just about her whole life. I know about her, the details of her life.
So are you from Oregon? Or are you from a different state? Or are you from here?
We're from Portland.
Okay.
From Jennings Lodge.
Yay, there you go.
Unincorporated area of Oregon.
Yay.
Oh, you almost
And this is my husband.
There you go. Thank you.
And that was
and then this is Raymond.
Where do you want to
Raymond,
sit?
Wilsonville.
Gary is?
Okay.
I currently live in Wilsonville. I met up with Gary in 97, and both of us are electricians, and that's when I met Marge. And Gary and I have done work together since 97, and this morning I brought him out here today.
Perfect. Well, thank you for coming.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Hi, I'm Regina Lithgow, and I came to pay my respects to the family of Marge Carruthers on behalf of the Hoodlum Women's Club. I am now the upcoming president for 2015 and 2016, so hats off to Marge.
Thank you. So do you have any type of memories or heard stories about her that you know?
I just hear stories, but I didn't know her very well. I know she was a very activist kind of person that got the Dorman Center built, which was a community building, and I'm on the Parks Committee to help preserve the building in some way and develop the 4 acres into a playground, an amphitheater, stuff for the community to use.
Perfect. Well, thank you for your time. Introduce yourself a little bit. Sorry, I'm kind of just interrupting everybody. And then how you know Margie, or if you
we
met
worked
her?
together on stage. I sang on top of the piano.
And who are you? I'm sorry.
Anita.
Anita
Forbes.
Forbes. Okay.
Been a long time.
How long have you known her?
Oh, since 68.
So you must be in some of those pictures that I went through.
I don't see any pictures over.
It's gonna be up on the screen later.
Oh, that should be fun.
And you're gonna have to point yourself out to me so that I know who you are. Well, thank you.
What?
Okay. Okay.
Who are you?
Who are you?
What? I was just walking down the street, and all these people were in here. And
Zero in on the name tag.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Let me zero. There you go. Gotcha.
You see what it says underneath?
So I want you to say a little bit about Margie and what this is all about. And
Well, it's perfect that we're having it here because this is a celebration of the life of Margie and the impact she's made. And she hasn't been up here in years and years and years, and she has a forever impact on this community. I mean, people know her who don't even know her. We were telling a story, and I said, "That's her. I know that story." So that's that, and it's just great to see a lot of people who haven't seen for a long time and people I've never seen before. And this is truly a celebration of Margie.
That's great.
And she wouldn't have it any other way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nancy, if you can just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you know Margie.
Well, actually, I only got to meet Margie briefly a couple of times. But Jan and Jeff are old friends, and I connected with them first through the Portland Church of Religious Science, and later I worked with them in CPY. I was a partner for a year with the youth, and so Jan and Jeff are part of my heart.
That's awesome. That's great to know.
That's why I'm here.
Thank you. Just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and how you know the family or Margie and some memories that you have.
Well, I've known Jan and Jeff for 25 plus years, since 1986 from church, and I have gone to lots of their open houses and Boxing Days and Labor Day anniversary parties, and I know Margie from she was just this lovely soul who would sit usually near Jan and just be a presence, be a loving presence and beautiful presence in the room. Almost every time I was there, she was there. And yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Delosier. Connie Delosier came down, she and Dale.
And you were a CPY, right? And I was, my name was Lana, and my husband was Dick. And
Dick Millington from the kitchen?
Yes, I remember that.
Yes.
Were you the second year?
I was the first year.
First year,
I was
okay.
first year.
You're right.
So I'm recording, as everybody knows, I think, so far. And we just want a little bit about yourself, how you know Margie, and I'll start with Lana.
I knew Margie because she was in 8th grade at Woodstock with my husband, and they used to have a get-together. And then I met Jeff and Jan, having nothing to do with her, and learned about CPY. And it was a number of years before we decided that there was the connection there. So that's how I knew her. I'd see her once a year at a get-together. And but then my husband and I were with CPY he was 10 years, I think, or 8 years, and I was about 5 years, 6 years.
So what's your best memory that you have?
Well, my memories are probably more with Jan and Jeff because of CPY and probably our first year at Aldersgate and the trials and tribulations of that. And with Margie, the first, with that was the fact that there were so many from an 8th grade class would get together that many years because of their age and everything. And they did it, there's still, I think, about 10 of them that are still together. Well, they don't think they get together because Dick stopped doing it, but that are still alive. At least 10 of them. And they were at my husband's service 6 months ago. And so,
all right,
that's
thanks.
how we.
And then Julie
Bloom. So I knew Margie through CPY, Jeff and Jan, and she was our office manager for a long time, and I was on the board, so I was up there in the office a lot. She had to climb up these 2 really steep flights of stairs at PGE, that was always a concern for me. I think my best memory of her is at Jeff and Jan's relationship parties over Labor Day
weekend.
Because she and Gary and Carol and her husband would sit there at the table, and Dan and his wife, and it was just nice to get to visit with them. So she was always a happy person.
Thank you, Julie. And
I met her. Julie's my wife, so I met Dudley through Julie and Jeff and Jan. Same thing at the party. So
Yeah, he just knows her.
that's where I know her.
Okay.
But she was a sweetheart. Really liked her a lot. I think that's all I have.
Did you get a picture of him? I actually did get. Robert was one of the first people that I interviewed. Nice. And so, and I interviewed you already. Did I? I did. You were over there at the. Okay. You don't need to. Well, I'm still recording, so. So I'm recording right now. Okay. And if you can just introduce yourself and a little bit of who you are and where you're from and how you know Margie, I would appreciate it.
Okay. I met Margie. My husband was Clackamas County Commissioner, and he was working with the Women's Club, the roads and everything. And then Margie and Roy Carruthers invited us to a party, and Margie and I became friends. I think that was around 1962.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Nancy Jones.
Okay.
And I live in Lake Oswego. And anyway, then Margie and I, after Roy died, and my husband died many, many years later, when she went to the coast and had that Sailor Jack or John, or what it was, I used to go down there and stay weekends with her, my husband and I, and then over the years we just had lunch 2 or 3 times a year, and even though, we didn't see each other like we used to, my husband died, and Margie and I just continued to have lunch with Jan once or twice a year.
So what was your best memory of when you guys knew each other back in what you can remember?
Well, Margie always had that beautiful platinum blonde hair. And one time I told her I really admired her hair, and she said my hair was black and it was dyed black. And I said, oh, I really think that's pretty. And she said, well, you'd look good as a blonde. Why don't you dye your hair? So that Saturday when I went to the beauty shop, I said, I want my hair blonde. And she did. And I looked a sight. And I said, Margie, my hair didn't even turn out like yours. And she said, well, you're a blonde, mine's platinum. And I said, the platinum, the girl said, was gold. But anyway, that was funny. Margie told me I looked good and I looked horrible, so 2 weeks later I dyed it back black.
Well, thank you. And you are?
Edie. She didn't know me that well because I knew her and her first husband when he got killed. And then I got introduced to him by her, Nancy and Daryl. So that was about it.
Well, thank you. And it's okay that you're eating. So if you can just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you know Margie. If you know Margie.
I know Margie. I'm a good friend with Jan and her husband.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to find out about her.
Okay. Well, thanks. Hi, I'm Sean, and what I'm doing is I'm recording a little bit about a little bit of everybody here at the party, so that we can have some memories. If you can just tell us a little bit about yourself, your name, and how you may or may not know Margie. I'd appreciate it.
I knew Margie.
Okay. And you are Nancy
Doherty.
Okay. We're trying to get some other
I first met Margie when I came out to visit from back east, and she had a luncheon for me, and I remember at her house, and it was very nice. She also was a founding member of the Women's Club, and my mother also was. So I have some nice memories, and I saw her on the 50th reunion of the Women's Club, and she came to visit us. It was very nice. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
No, I'm not. I didn't know Margie that well. The first time I met her, I was coming out of the Dorman Center now.
Okay.
And she had just pulled into the driveway with a son. And she wanted to know, she waved out the window and called me over and wanted to know what was going on. And that was when we had first started a drive to get a new community center up here, which never happened. But she wanted to know all about it, and she was so excited. And then I've seen her a couple of times since, the last being at the Women's Club 50th anniversary. She was there and I had a nice conversation with her, and she was just so excited. A delight to talk to.
Thank you.
Now, do you know Chanda?
Hi, sure.
Sean, this is Marion Gaylord.
I apologize if I've met you before.
I'm actually recording you guys as well. So
I was just wanting to know if you want to have any something to say. Marion's singing for us.
Oh, just a little bit about yourself, who you are, and how you know Margie.
I'm Marion Gaylord. I've known Jan a long time, and her mom was a real live wire. I really enjoyed her many times. So I'm happy to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Yes, it looks like it.
Hi.
Hi.
So I'm recording, as you know. I'm just gonna ask you who you are. If you can just kind of tell me a little bit about yourselves and how you know Margie, and some memories that you have with her or not. So I'll start with you.
I'm Virginia, and I'm her cousin. One of her cousins, two distant cousins. And I don't know.
What do you remember about her?
Well, she's always up and about.
Okay. And you?
I'm Carol Strong. Margie is my sister, was my sister. And so we grew up together. And I have fond memories of her.
What did you guys like to do together?
Well, we played outside. We were just kids. And we had lots of fun.
Thank you. And you, Jim?
I am Carol's husband, and I knew Margie through Carol. Met, and I remember, I think the first time I really met her was when she had the, what was the name of that inn up here? Barlow Trail Inn.
Okay.
Yeah, met her there. And we've known each other 40 plus years. And she's a pretty sweet gal and had a lot of talent.
Thank you.
Making things.
And Gil? Sorry.
Well, I guess I'm the younger cousin, and I remember, you asked me what I remember about Margie. When I was a kid, playing at Grandma and Grandpa's house at holidays, I can remember, and my sister wrote Carol about this too, is that I remember Margie coming in. She was an adult, young woman, very glamorous, and I was sitting on the floor playing with Tinker Toys, probably, and here comes this glamorous woman in capri pants and gorgeous hair and makeup, and we were just little kids, and I was just blown away by her beauty and her charm, and she kind of didn't fit in at that setting. But because she was so glamorous.
Always
glamorous. So anyway, I'm really enjoying looking at the pictures over at on the table, and I'll go back. So
thank you so much
for
being here. I know I should have been recording that when I was explaining it to you, but
Never mind.
if you can just go
Sure,
ahead.
sure. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm Chris Recaro, and I have known Jan Carruthers since the Portland Civic Theater days. In 1973, I met Jan, and we have been best friends ever since and through a lot together. And when she asked me to come here today and sing at her mother's memorial service, I did not hesitate to say yes. I love you, Jan. I love you very, very much.
Thank you. And Linda, I'm sorry to interrupt you. If you could just introduce yourself and a little bit of life and love.
I know. There's nothing like having a camera put on you with a full mouth, chewing. Anyway, I'm Linda Cahan, and actually, I only met your mom, Jan, a couple of times. She just had a glow, a really lovely glow. And you have the same glow. It seems to run in the family. It's quite lovely. And love to you and to Jeff. And your mom's here. There's just no doubt about it. So thank you for inviting me and making me part of this. It's truly a pleasure.
Thank you for coming. Of course I knew Margie. Well, let's start with Barbara.
Actually, the truth is, I don't have any funny stories about Margie or memorable stories. She was there when at Jan's house several times. She's a delightful, so charming, a good storyteller, and I just always enjoyed her. She always made me feel so warm and special. She'd always say, "Oh, Barbara, how nice to see you again." She was like that. Do you remember?
I do.
Yeah, she always made you feel special.
Always.
But I'm really looking forward to seeing this because this is like, oh my God, her whole life.
Yes.
I'm young.
Mike, everybody's pointing at you, so you're next. So if you could just introduce yourself, let me know kind of who you are, and okay, and you know Margie through.
Yeah, I know Margie through Gary.
Okay.
I'm a friend of Gary.
And so you're a friend of Gary's. And how long have you known Margie? Or Gary? Well, how long have you known Gary?
A long time. I would say 30 years.
30 years. Did you go eat with them every week as well?
No, I knew them up when they were in Oak Grove.
Oh, okay.
When he lived up
Do you have any special memories?
I remember she was always real nice with animals. We like animals.
Yeah, that's risky.
No. Thank you. And so this is Karen. Hi, Karen.
Hello.
So you are.
I'm Karen Gratt.
Okay. And how do you know Margie?
Well, since my husband met Gary, and then Gary put me into the electrician school, and they became really good friends. Then I heard about Margie years before I got to meet her. And then when I met her,
years ago, he was an engineer.
we just clicked, but I think she clicked with everybody she met because she was really just a kind-hearted
Because they were basically ineffectual.
She really, so who wouldn't want to be around her? So then I got to be around her more and more. That's all I know.
Story is that
Didn't know Marge very well, so I don't know if you want to. I think Jan wants a little bit of everybody. Yeah. So just kind of.
What is it?
It's just for her to look back at and for all of us to kind of see later on. So kind of.
My favorite memory though, Marge, your favorite memories of
Yeah. What you remember of her, and, how you know her, how you related to her, your name, who you are. Okay.
Do I stay sitting?
Yeah, that's fine.
I do. This is so awkward. Oh, I'm not ready yet. I'm still not.
Okay, just go ahead. What's your name?
I'm Melissa, and I've known Marge for a long time. She was a mom to me, and I have great memories of a lot of family trips that we would go on, especially the beach. It was always my favorite. And a lot of the wonderful family get-togethers, always with Dan and Kathy, and all the siblings. A lot of times, like Thanksgiving, having them over for dinners was always really nice and special times. Just a lot of wonderful times together.
Thank you. Randy, sorry to interrupt you eating. If you could just, how you know Margie?
Jason and Jen.
Okay.
My son Jason.
Okay.
And his wife Jennifer.
So are you related to? Okay, so
Jason.
Got it.
He's my dad.
Got it. So in-laws. Got it.
They spent Thanksgiving with us 2 or 3 years or something at Margie.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming. Nancy? I think, did I record you yet?
Yes, you did.
I did, okay. I'm not, I don't remember who I recorded and who I don't think I have gotten Lily. Hi, I'm Sean. Sorry, nice to meet you. If you could just tell me a little bit of who you are and how you know Marge.
My mouth is full of food. Can you wait a minute?
Oh, is the camera going?
So tell us, we were trying to remember why when you were here. Margie, did you go out?
I don't want to show pictures.
I'm putting it that way.
You're just taking it out.
So if you could just tell me a little bit about who you are and how you know Margie, or if you know Margie through Jeff and Jan, or how you knew about this.
Okay. My name is Lily.
Go ahead. Sorry.
She wants you.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
My name is Lily.
Okay.
And I know Jan from the Oregon Sneakers Association. And she kind of took me under her wing. I was a new speaker, and for many years there as friends and fellow speakers. I was president, then she was president. She helped me in many ways. We became good friends. And of course we went to the many parties that they had in their house. And met Margie a couple times at the house. Lovely chat. And met her partner, Gary. And then, of course, I've known Jeff as well. So, you know, Jan brings together all of the different circles of friends. So I've always enjoyed her parties, and I wouldn't miss this. Is there anything else that you need from me? Is that
how you know her and a little bit about yourself?
Let her chew what she's got in her mouth first.
Oh, but we want to get that. So if you could just introduce a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you know Jeff and Jan, or how you know Margie, and maybe some good memories that you had. That would be perfect. Last person. Yeah. Can we come back? Yeah. Can we come back? Okay.
Got it?
I gave the full name to
I can announce the name of the
yeah,
tree.
please tell us the tree of it.
Okay.
This is a reporter for the Mountain Times.
Yes. He announced me as the reporter for the Mountain Times. My daughter Barbara. Actress Koreana Silverlock. Ostman Silverlock is the German pronunciation. It's a Korean fruit.
And they were only discovered by the German guy.
Yes.
Hubba.
Horstmann.
It's like in 1986 or something like that.
Yes, first discovery. And do you see the pine cones, everyone? They're going to be purple. Is that cool? The underside are all silvery. Right. Isn't this rare and beautiful? What a new tree.
So there's a little chick. Get some muscle on getting his out of the turn it on its side.
Yeah, so step back, Kate.
Okay,
You're not getting much help standing there.
I was going to say, is there anything I can do to help?
Step away. Got it? Be careful with that. This thing is sad.
Yeah, oops.
Okay, we need opinions on correction.
Turn it.
Oh, gardeners, we also
Looks good to me.
It's like straightening out the Christmas tree. Well, you know,
I am so young for Christmas.
Why?
in my opinion, I'm no expert, but I would think that side is better. Because you can see things on.
Now you're prepared. My God, that was very prepared. I like that.
Excuse me, Jan.
Oh, well.
Where is it going to fill in?
I don't know.
It won't fill in at the bottom, only at the top.
No, he's going to cut the bottom in.
When the winter's here, sometime in November or December.
He's going to cut
we'll
those
trim up
off
some of the
anyway.
bottom ones.
So disregard those, yes.
To remind ourselves of the absolute cycle of things. So we've been in the wonderful experience of life on this plane, and then what happens to us as we're drifting off to the big consciousness. So Margie, for those of you who don't know, have always wanted to donate her body or her organs to science, to be transplanted and, make something, harvested and make something work. Well, in truth, by the time she was her age, she had so many things wrong with her, that was actually kind of a joke. Did they want anything? And so it turns out that her eyes could be donated, her skin, but the OHSU has a size ratio, and she didn't fit inside their guidelines. So it's hard to give your body away, we found. And so then there was another place who had all kinds of checklists. And then hospice presented us with this most wonderful opportunity called Medcare, in which you can donate your entire body to medical education and research. In other words, it wouldn't be transplanted, it would be used for, and they too have a long checklist of things that are knockouts. But the miracle of it all was that with as many things wrong with her as she had no knockouts for Medcare. So one of the last things she got to know, while she was really still responsible, was that they were going to take her whole body and use it for big uses. She was totally thrilled to
totally thrilled. And Jenny and Jay were there, and we all knew about this, and this was a nice part. So Medcare does all of their experiments with whoever's looking for certain parts, and then they send you back cremated remains. So we have divided up the cremated remains partly for the river and partly for this tree, because her life on the mountain was truly, no matter what went before and what went after, life on the mountain was among her very happiest years. And so we decided that this tree, finding the place for it, thanks to Barb and Murph and Carol and other people, took this weedy patch and turned it into this lovely garden, and then said, yes, we would love to have a tree, and yes, you could make it a marker. So this, I can't think of a cemetery in the world. It's so funny, it's by a highway. His mom was always going up and down the highway. So what we're going to do, Jeffrey, tell me when?
No?
Okay. Don't think we're going to do the candle.
Okay, fine.
It's just too windy.
It would blow out, yeah.
So what we have...
You just know that it's windy. You already know about wind in this event.
I do, and I'm open to suggestions.
Let's get in tight and block the wind.
Yes.
Well, here's what, let me tell you what we're going to do, and then you can tell me how to do it. What we're going to do is put ashes, so you can block the wind. Everybody's got a little spoon here, and you can contribute some of the Oh, wow.
Not a fair way to block the wind.
I'm sorry, it's not very reverent.
Yes, it is. You're probably going to like it.
No, it's just appropriate.
Did you see that from there?
It was beautiful. So,
This wind. So let's.
You want to do it down here?
I just.
At least first.
well,
I
how
have a
about
plan.
one of
This'll
us
work.
back
This'll work.
Yeah.
Down.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
It's not as pretty and elegant, but it,
There you go.
I'll put it up on the table.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But see, this it's actually got to be here because otherwise it'll blow off the spoon. They got to be right here to get there. So, but it's really well. It's not. Block it with your hands, and anybody who would like to do this, say a bit of a blessing for yourself. The spoon's in there.
Next. You certainly by going first. That's set the trend.
Lovely tree, Joe.
Thank you.
That's it. Yeah.
Jan,
Yeah.
why don't you go ahead and go, it's your mom.
I don't know if you wanted to be first or last.
Coming to the
That's an olive spoon or a tomato spoon. Or a salt spoon, I should think.
The way that
Remember when we were in the gas machine?
the underside and has purple
I didn't know much about that. Yeah. So when I go, you can have it. You gonna go? No, John, go. Well, we can go after. Okay. Go. Oh, it's recording. Just leave it on. Traditional. So traditional.
Good memories of tunes and
Is that everyone? I went?
Now, do you want to pour the rest of it on there, Jan? Is that your intent?
What would you like?
Does anybody else, Jeffrey? Anybody else?
I think we're all good.
Okay, all right, so.
This is a community thing, you know. You can pour right from the bottle if you want. On maybe wave.
And nourish this tree to last forever on this mountain. He's the son-in-law. Independent.
We have a cub reporter here.
Are we done? Say hi.
Yeah, and at the end, just.
Maybe everybody can stand together and take a picture with it.
Yeah, that's nice.
Right here, Carol. There's a tree stand. It'll it'll self-correct.
It looks great to me.
You could say, they made a special permission to use that platform.
So this is on now. In there. See that telephone box on those bushes? And there's tree fits right in there.
You like
It's really
it?
good there.
Yeah.
What a good
Yeah,
choice.
it's little, big, but it, yeah, that's what they were saying.
Pretty big and younger people like that.
And there's an elms track, which is definitely.
Wow, she's getting the royal treatment. Mom's getting the royal treatment here.
You know, it's like that one. I just, when I start something that he doesn't get it done that way.
Jan, can we come up here at Christmas and put ornaments on it?
Oh, that'd be fun. Have you ever had anybody do that? You put ornaments on
No,
trees and gardens?
no.
That's a really good idea.
I think that's a great idea. Jenny said, can we come up at Christmas and put some ornaments on Margie's tree?
Where's much as she wanted Christmas?
She did. She was a fool for Christmas. Oh, that's not good. Although she was also really dramatic around Christmas. Well, maybe
I wonder where you got that from.
I am not dramatic like she was.
You
can't tell all the
She would never
stories.
have a bare tree at Christmas.
Are we going to the Salmon Creek as well?
Salmon River is next.
Where's that at?
I think we follow.
Down the road as well until you get to the subway. And you take a
Turn
left
left.
at Welch's. Yeah.
And then go all the way up. That's the way
Not
that
at Welch's.
there was
this side.
We'll follow Jeff.
there's a
Jeff
cabin up there
Johnson
on the
has
left hand
invited
side.
us
It's
to
beautiful. My daughter goes, Mom,
river.
they have like awesome cabins up here. It's not like scary cabins. That's my daughter.
Lucy was running back and forth this morning. Literally running.
Well, you sure had a perfect day for this, you guys. She's probably looking at this and saying, this is how it should be. Nice job, guys.
She's giggling.
So,
What do you need?
we want a picture of all these people here.
Are you going to be in the picture?
You know, I only met her once, and so I feel like this is more about family. So I think I would, have just a picture.
Can I hand this to you?
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You don't want to be in the picture?
She can take it.
Okay. You can take pictures for us then. With the camera? With your camera? With my camera? With this? Well, she's going to take this. Oh, you're covering it.
Oh,
Okay.
it's there.
Yeah.
Sorry. You know how much I know
So
about
you
it.
can look at through here.
Okay.
And then you hold it right here.
Okay.
Okay. And it's already recording, so you're fine. So just look in here.
Yeah, okay. And
Put your hand here.
do I push?
No.
Oh,
It's already recording
now.
Yeah.
So your voice is
Hey, can everybody, let's want everybody like this.
Yeah, you can come up in the, just go step on the big plants.
Yeah.
Boy, we need
Oh, this is family. This could be family, isn't it?
Oh, this is everybody. This is the hood. Mom?
Okay.
Come on, Barb.
She can do a picture.
Yeah. She can do it. Kelana can do it. If Kelana doesn't want to be in the picture.
I don't have to do anything.
Well, the camera has to have
Hey,
the
Lotta,
back
you need to go over there, honey.
Yeah.
On the other side.
It's recording, babe.
Oh, I'll look at this way.
What? Where? That way?
Yeah, that room is short.
Up here? Is up here fine?
Don't you want to be in the picture, sweetie?
No thanks.
Squeeze in. You can squeeze in, hon. I'm gonna go. Come on over here. Girls. Taylor, you got a place to be?
Ow.
Don't block it, anybody. Okay, tall people in the front.
Come on, Taylor. Everybody sit and open your eyes. Want to get one of my chins.
It's just recording, right, Mom?
I know, they are wide open.
Where? This one? I'm just clicking away.
Just use the phone.
Yeah.
Well, you guys who did the flowers, spectacular. Well, you did awesome.
Over there. Probably no more than me, but that's the good part.
So that it's on my phone.
You know, it's funny. Margie kind of lit up a room, but she's never had this much intention in one day. And it was a lot.
Wow. Really, when you think about it. Who does?
Give you some more slack. Good job, Jeff. Thanks. There was some supervision.
Yeah, it was good, yeah.
Supervisor. So yes, we were some fun.
I think everybody should take a flower.
You guys can just, could we just take like maybe a bouquet? Are we gonna leave most of the flowers here?
No, not much of them.
Just take
A couple?
a few.
I really want the flowers also go to people's houses.
Rana, you want to put some flowers underneath for Margie? Just grab a couple flowers and put it underneath her. Oh, my battery's gonna die. you.
Thank you.